Okay, so let's talk troubleshooting with BYO Booth. The first thing we're going to go over is what to do if the software is not pulling any photos. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that your internet connection is working. So just go anywhere online, just click a link and make sure that that page loads for you. So that's step number one. If your internet connection's not working, then you have to figure out what's going on with that bad boy. The next thing we're going to look at is where we're pulling the photos from. Is that configured correctly? So the first thing is going to be, are you logged into the place that you're pulling from? So whether it's Instagram or Twitter, you want to make sure that you're logged in order to be able to pull those photos. The next thing, if you're using a watch folder, would be to make sure that that watch folder is mapped correctly. So are you looking at the correct folder? A lot of times we see, if you're using one of the iFi cards, that it creates a subfolder with the date the photos were taken. So if you're not directing it to that subfolder, it'll make it so that the photos won't be pulled in. The next part we're going to go through, if we're still not seeing what we want, is to make sure that our firewalls are shut down. So if you go in the control panel, if you go to Windows Firewalls, we can say turn the Windows firewalls on or off. And then I always go to turn them off. So just shut them off for this computer. The next thing we're going to do is allow an app or feature through the Windows firewall. So we can click on allow another app, and then you can search for BYO Booth. So that's going to be in your C drive, program files, photo booth solutions, BYO Booth, and then you can select the program. We're going to hit add, and then it's going to show us, and we're going to make sure that both private and public, we're allowing it through that firewall. So go ahead and hit OK. The next thing we want to check, if we're still not getting anything, is to make sure that our internet connection is set to home or work and not a public connection. So in your control panel, you can go to network and sharing centers, and you're going to look to make sure that it says home or work. If it says public, that's not what we want. How do you do that? Windows 10 is kind of a beast with that. So what we're going to do is go down here. I'm just going to select my Wi-Fi and open him up. So I find my, my network and hit properties. Since we're public, if you switch, make this PC discoverable to on, that's going to set it to a private. If you were on private, switching it to off would set it to public. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's Windows 10, so it is what it is. But that's going to be the first steps that you're going to take, and it's going to solve 99% of your issues if your photos are not pulling in.